pleasant day to you, our dear students, teachers, colleagues, and of course to our dear parents who are watching this webinar right now. Now, as we head on towards the new academic year, we are fully aware that this is not going to be the usual academic year like what we've had previously. Of course, this is going to be different, a lot more exciting, and it is without a doubt going to have a lot of adjustments to do. But nonetheless, we still continue to hold on to that hope that despite this pandemic, we can and we will still push through and look forward for better and brighter days. Good morning, everyone. My name is Miss Jody Marie Arhaji, your guidance counselor from the Sorsogon National High School. And for today, I will be discussing on how the students are going to prepare for the distance learning. All right. Now, according to Gloria Steinem, she is a famous author and an educator as well. Learning must travel the distance from head to the heart. Now, the longest distance in the world is from the head to the heart. Taking what we know and turning it into a demonstrable action or practicing it is something that will elicit change in our lives and, of course, in the lives of those people around us is what we call true wisdom. Now, the ability to transform knowledge into action is one of the most difficult challenges. Now, on the onset of the COVID-19 last year, we are now on the new normal, all right? So, one thing that is certain, we know that adjusting to change can be challenging, okay? Be it planned or unplanned, gradual or sudden, change is inevitable and very much part of being human. Sabi nga po nila, change is permanent. Okay? Now, over the past few months, we have experienced an unprecedented shift in our way of life due to COVID-19. Okay, so we were obliged to stay in our homes, practice social distancing, wear mask, face shield, and of course, sanitize as much as possible when going out to the public. And of course, uh, ibang-iba na po ang sistema noon. Ibang-iba na po ang sistema ngayon compared noon when it comes to grocery shopping, going someplace to buy our necessities because almost everywhere that we go, maraming pila lagi. So, kailangan talaga nagbabaon tayo ng maraming pasensya. And of course, mga ating education and ating work ay nagkaroon na rin ng shift, okay? So, sa ating education naman, from the traditional face-to-face, wherein supposedly the students are going to school at the beginning of the school year, ngayon po ay naiba na po siya. Nagkaroon na po ng shift. So, from the traditional face-to-face, bigla po siyang naging um, distance learning, blended, and of course, sa iba po, meron po silang limited face-to-face. But I think in the Philippines, that is not yet applicable because as mandated by our president, um, bawal muna ang face-to-face unless a vaccine is available for everyone. Okay. Now, on the onset of the pandemic or the COVID-19, this is what we call the next pandemic. Okay, we have the wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3. So sa wave 1, dito po nagsimula yung, ito po yung onset ng COVID-19. So syempre marami ang apektuhan ng mga tao in and out of the country. Actually, this is a global pandemic. So walang piniling race, walang piniling nationality ang sakit na ito. Kaya maraming tinamaan po nito. Okay, so following that is of course the economic crisis. So syempre we were left we were caught off guard by this virus, deadly virus. So apektado masyado ang ating economy because majority of the business sectors were affected, majority of the tourism, and of course, almost all nasaklawan po niyan, naapektuhan po ng virus na ito. And syempre, yung pinaghahandaan po ng lahat is yung wave 3, which is the mental health crisis. Following the physical and economic crisis, mental health comes in third. Okay, so this is what they call the new pandemic. Okay, and syempre, ang ating society, we were caught off guard by this. Now, of course, these disasters breed trauma, especially to people who have experienced it. Now, prior disasters have triggered rising mental health challenges and greater inequities, especially among young children and young adults. Now, given that mental well-being is a core pillar of effective learning, now we feel that an even greater sense of urgency regarding the need for investment in mental health solution. Kaya nga po kami, mga mental health practitioners, we are trying our best to help the society in this kind of crisis by offering our services. Okay? Now we will discuss the distance learning. Why? Because distance learning now is the new approach we have to take for the safety, health, and welfare of all. Okay, so ito po yung nakita na isang approach ng ng ating government and of course ng government ng ibang bansa na at least man lang ma-slow down ang pagkalat ng virus habang hindi po na compromise ang education. Now, to define it, distance learning is when students are separated from teachers, and this means that students learn remotely or wala sila sa school and do not have face-to-face learning with instructors or other students. So, on your right side, nakalagay po dyan yung different modalities. So, in some countries, we have a limited face-to-face or limited number of learners go to school. Pero very, ano lang po ito, very minimal, okay? Some opted for homeschooling or self-learning. Now, this provides learners with equal access to quality basic education at home to be facilitated by qualified parents, of course, guardians or tutors. So, sa homeschooling po, tinitrain po dito yung mga parents and guardians on how to effectively teach or educate their young learners. Now, mostly po, ang nangyari po ngayon is the distance learning. Now, this is delivered through different modes. So, we have the online platforms or the online learning. Of course, we have the educational programs on TV and radio. I think sa Sorsogon, prominent na po ang radio broadcasting instruction. Okay? Of course, we have the printed modules. Okay? Now, the Department of Education is talagang, they are urging na sana by next few weeks, resort na into other modalities yung ating mga learners because ang resources hindi na kayang um, tustusan yung pangangailangan ng ating mga learners. Pero I'm pretty sure that they are doing their best to substantiate these needs. Okay, now we have also the blended learning. Now this allows a combination of face-to-face, online, and modular learning delivery. All right. Now, what are the benefits of distance learning? First, you can study anywhere. Okay, you can study wherever you are, and of course at the comfort of your own home. Okay. Next is flexible study schedule. You can build your study schedule around the commitments such as work and family. You can now multitask, okay? Mas flexible kasi ito compared pag nasa traditional face-to-face tayo na wherein you really have to go to school and make time and devote your time in studying. Of course, ang distance learning entails lower cost. Okay, distance learning is often cheaper because of less travel and less allowance expenses. Okay, now one of the benefits also of distance learning is you learn while you work. Okay, ang kagandahan kasi ng distance learning is you are able to do multitask. Okay, so as distance learning can be completed around your other responsibilities, it is often possible to work full-time or part-time. So ito po yung mga benefits po ng ating distance learning. Now following that, now what are the skills distance learning students need to develop? So first, you need to develop self-motivation. Now distance learning can be isolating at times. Now studying by yourself can be a lonely experience, okay? Especially if hindi tayo sanay. Sanay tayo to socialize with other people, sanay tayo na mag-study within groups, sanay tayo mag-study na kasama ang ating mga friends, no? Now, what we need right now is self-motivation. Now, a successful distance learning student is able to motivate themselves to study, okay? Even if they don't want to. Okay, now one thing to do this is you go back to your goals, okay? Mamaya, we will discuss about these goals, okay? Perseverance. Now, a successful distance learning student pushes forward even when they experience challenges. Now, they understand achieving a degree is a long process and they will make mistakes, okay? Failure always comes with success. Okay, when they are tired, they learn to rest, but they do not quit. Okay, you persevere despite the challenges, you persevere despite the hardship, and you persevere despite the mistakes and the failures that you made, because along this process you will learn and eventually you will succeed. Now we ask for help. A successful distance learning student understand asking for help is a strength and not a sign of weakness. Now, they try to solve a problem themselves first, but they are not afraid to ask for help so that they can learn and make progress. No? Wala namang pumawawala sa atin kapag kahihingi po tayo ng tulong. Okay? Now, also we need to become independent learners. Now, dito po, yung distance learning student, they take initiative in their education, okay? They seek help from other resources. They read outside the core materials to understand topics, and they actively try to improve their study skills. Okay, so if you are independent learner, you do not just merely rely on the core materials that were given to you. Of course, you need to source out from the available resources na like sa internet, sa books. Uh, you need to also try to improve your study skills. Okay? Now, the last skill is engagement. Okay? Now, they participate in online discussions, if possible, and activities. They speak up in tutorials and ask questions to further their knowledge. Okay? Kaya very important po ang pag-ask din ng questions. Kasi ibig sabihin, pag ang isang estudyante raw po nagtatanong, ibig sabihin, may naiintindihan yan. Hindi yan sa walang naiintindihan. May naiintindihan yan na gusto lang nilang i-clarify. Now, they read, they watch, and listen to outside sources to deepen and broaden their understanding of their subject. Now, these are the skills that you should have in order to survive the distance learning. Okay, you need to be self-motivated, you need to persevere, ask for help, you should be an independent learner, and of course you engage. Okay, now how do we mentally prepare ourselves for distance learning? So first, we assess and accept the current situation. So Pinaka-first step po sa pag-approach sa isang problema is we accept it, okay, as it is. And of course, we assess it. Saan tayo lulugar sa ganitong sitwasyon natin ngayon? Magmumukmok na lang ba tayo? Or may gagawin tayo about it? Na, okay? Second, strengthen relationships or connection. Okay, so I understand that we have this social distancing protocol, but of course we can build connections even online or offline. So we just have to be creative in how we do that. Okay, importante po na we build this relationship because we are social beings and we cannot just merely live by ourselves. Okay? Number three is we practice mindfulness. Okay? Being mindful means that you are fully aware of what you're going to do, what you need to finish, okay? By doing this, you need to have a routine or schedule. Very important po ang pagkakaroon ng routine. Especially po napahaba masyado ang ating vacation before mag-start. It almost took like 5 months, I guess, before mag-start ulit ang pasukan. No? So, uh, during those months, kailangan nakapag-develop tayo ng routine na kahit na bakasyon, eh, we have a proper time for sleeping and proper time for waking up. Also, we need to have this schedule, especially now that you have already started your classes. Kasi very important po ito since it keeps you organized with the things that you need to do, and it keeps you reminded of the deadlines. Okay, importante po yun so that you don't forget things that are really important. Now, building resilience. Okay, this talks about how you self-regulate and your mindset. Okay, um, despite the challenges that you're facing right now, syempre alam natin na hindi naman lahat capable of having the gadgets or the connectivity. Now, how do we bounce back from this situation? Okay? So, how do we regulate our emotions? How do we regulate our yung mga stress natin, yung anxiety natin, okay? Kasi basically, although we need the help of others, but first we regulate ourselves. Kasi syempre, uh, at the end of the day, syempre, wala naman tayo bang aasahan kundi sarili lang din naman natin. Okay, so it's about having a proper mindset, not just a positive mindset, but a proper mindset and a growth mindset. Okay? Number five, syempre, consistency is the key. Now, having these four preparation, yung assessing and accepting the current situation, strengthening relationships and connection, practicing mindfulness, and of course, building resilience. Pagka nagawa niyo ito, consistency is the key lang. Paulit-ulit lang po natin ginagawa dapat ito so that it becomes a habit. Okay? Hindi na siya mahirap para sa atin in the long run. Okay? Now, let me share to you practical tips that are helpful for this distance learning. Okay. All right. Now, besides preparing mentally to complete any adult learning courses, it is also important to prepare physically. Okay. This includes preparing an ideal place to study without disturbance. Most people prefer using one of the rooms in their homes, kung malaking bahay, to create a conducive environment for studying, or if not, just one corner in your house. Okay. This usually include letting other people at home um, who might need to use that particular room that it will be used for studies at particular times. May scheduling din. Now, this will prevent people coming in this study room during the time set for study. Okay. Now, if possible, the study room should be away from the place other family members prefer to spend their evenings or weekend. Okay. So, para maiwasan din po natin ang mga distractions. Now, another important step in to do various various home learning courses is finding time to study. Doon pumapasok po ang scheduling. This entails preparing a proper schedule that will accommodate work, social time, and study time. Hindi lang po lahat study, hindi lang po lahat social, hindi lang po lahat work. Okay? There should be a balance. Now, having a very compressed schedule might not be appropriate because it might be hard to follow properly. The right schedule should leave time for one to study while at the same time leave time to relax and work. Okay? It is important to factor in some wiggle room in case there is a special event you want to attend to. Okay, dapat meron kayong little room in your schedule na para sa mga um, social life ninyo. Okay? Now, allow me to share to you. Okay. First, we boast your achievements. Okay? We celebrate your small wins. um, you should feel proud in every good mark and productive study session. You can share your achievements on social media or message your friends and family. Share when you've worked hard so others can celebrate with you. Okay, there's nothing wrong in sharing your little wins or achievements. It motivates you also. Second, we create a study space. Now, while I recommend studying in different places, sometimes you need a dedicated space, okay, where you can get your study done. Okay? Ngayon kasi, ang sistema ngayon is you're bringing home your school. So, it's important now you create a study space na para ma-feel ninyo na during those time, parang nasa school pa rin po kayo. Okay? You can organize your desk if you have. Get a nice chair, a lamp, yan. And of course, yung mga other necessary things na kailanganin nyo sa inyong pag-aaral. Okay? Find other students or you connect with other students, especially with your classmates. Importante po ito kasi part ito ng ating socialization. Okay? Make sure that you have support from your friends or your families. Reward yourself with every achievement that you made. Halimbawa, may natapos kayong ganito, reward yourself. Treat yourself na kahit yung mga simple lang. Hindi, not necessarily naman kailangan maging luxurious yung reward. Okay? Treat yourself din sa kada small wins na nagagawa po ninyo. Define your reasons for studying. Okay? Dito po pumapasok yung goal setting. Now, when you start your schooling, this is school year, what were your reasons for studying? Okay? Now, you should define it very specific. So, yung pag-set po natin ng goals, it should be specific, syempre. And of course, hindi yung pang long term siguro. Mga short term goals na muna para achievable siya. Okay? You should schedule your studying as I mentioned earlier. Important po ito so that you will be more organized. Of course, you should know your workload. Do not put on too much load on your shoulder that you cannot handle. Kasi syempre, kayo din naman po ang mahihirapan. You can always say no. Okay? Self-care. Huwag pong kalimutan ng self-care by taking breaks or practicing self-hygiene. Kasi baka naman sobrang pag-aaralan ninyo, nakalimutan nyo ng pangalagaan ng sarili nyo. So, importante po yun. We control procrastination or the mamaya na habit. Okay? Kasi this is a dangerous behavior that can lead to disaster. Now, we just embrace just doing it. You know, the most difficult part in doing something is starting it. Now, pag nasimulan nyo na yon, mabilis na lang po siya. Kaya, ano na lang, we just start doing it, okay? Now, we create a focus study routine. Kaya nga po routine because it eventually becomes a habit, okay? Organize your work. Mas may lamang pa rin po ang organized na tao. Kasi syempre, especially with regards to your academic concerns, mas maganda po na organize kayo in filing your documents sa computer, put on a proper file name, ilagay sa tamang folder, ganun, para hindi kayo mahirapan when you need it, when the time comes na kakailanganin nyo na siya. Okay? Be flexible with where you study. Be flexible with when you study. Okay? And of course, be flexible with how you study. Alright? Excuse me. So, doon naman sa be flexible with where you study, you can just, even though you have your study corner, you can just adjust kung saan kayo mas comfortable as long as there is no distractions na makaka-distract sa iyo sa inyong pag-aaral. Okay? Of course, be flexible with when you study means that uh, dapat meron kayong specific time sa pag-aaral po. Okay? Ang iba kasi na mas gusto nila mag-aral during the day or magawa ng kanilang mga homework. Ang iba naman, they prefer to do it during nighttime. So it's up to you, okay? Now, work within your energy levels. Okay? So, kapag ka nagsabi na po ang ating katawan na magpahinga na, so it's a red flag for us to rest. Kailangan po makapahinga din po tayo. Now, we stay positive, not with COVID, but of course with the things that we do. Okay? Na in spite of the gray areas po sa ating mga ginagawa, there is always a bright side to it. Of course, very important that we back up everything. Okay, na-experience ko na po ito during my thesis time na hindi pa ako nakapag-back up noon. So, during my time, ang uso pa noon is yung floppy disk. So, buti na lang yung hindi ko na back, yung nasirang file noon is only one chapter. So, I had to do it all over again. So, that is a very painful learning experience for me. So, might as well, i-back up nyo po ang inyong mga files and of course, yung mga data na kakailanganin ninyo. Kung hanggat kaya, tatlong backup kung hanggat pwede, no? Sa email, ganyan, sa computer, yan. Okay? We embrace technology and other resources that is available. And of course, we be careful with online etiquettes. So I'm pretty sure na alam nyo naman to na what are the online etiquettes, okay? Especially in communicating with your peers and with your teachers. Now, take that small steps, okay? Hindi naman necessary na kailangan giant leaps na kaagad. So, every achievement starts with small steps. Okay? Yun naman kasi ang importante doon. Basta may sinimulan na tayo, the rest shall follow. Okay? So, here are my reference. So, just check it out if you like. Now, according to Lynn Pernil, and this is the end of my discussion, never stop learning because life never stops teaching. Okay? So I know that we are trapped into this tragedy of the pandemic. But as you listen to this, I hope and I pray that you have started to make a wise choice with what to do with your learning, with your life, despite the hurdles and challenges. Now, as humans, we were created to fail and learn and succeed and then all over again. Now, the question is, How much are you willing to offer for this lifetime? Now it's your call. Okay. Now, once again, thank you so much for listening. My name is Jody Marie Arhaji. For your questions, please do not hesitate to comment down or contact me personally. Thank you.